You log in with Gettman. Ready? Okay. Call the meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag. Peace of America. Which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to the July 17th edition of the Board of Commissioners meeting, 2024. I would like to remind everybody that this is a public meeting. We are being recorded via audio and video, and we also have a hybrid. Sorry? Can we mute that call? Is that possible? Thank you. We also, by state law, we are on a hybrid option. And if you do address the board, I ask that you give us your name and address for the record. With that, awards, recognitions, or correspondence. Commissioner Doran.
Well, I think that everybody knows that Captain Primer was recognized as the Manager Telecommunicator of the Year in the state of Oregon. I don't have a proclamation to read or anything like that, but I think from my heart, it's one of those awards that you know instantly was the right person chosen at the right time. Makes the whole county extremely proud. So congratulations, Captain Primer.
Well said. She's so well deserved and well earned. Any additions to the agenda? Okay, public input and recognition of visitors. At this time to address the board. If you have something that's not on the agenda and you wish to discuss it with the board. Okay. Hearing and seeing nothing either in the room or online. We'll jump right into item number 1, and it's a public hearing. So we're going to suspend our regular meeting mode and go into, I'll open up a public hearing for the Cemetery District Annexation.
The matter before the board is an annexation to the Weston Cemetery District. This is one parcel. The owner of the property has requested to annex into the district. The district board is in support. And so it's now before the board for a public hearing to consider the annexation. This is a 1.5 acre parcel. It's the Blue Mountain or Key Cemetery, but was not in any cemetery district. And so that is what the request is, to add it to the Weston Cemetery District. And the property owner and the district were notified of the public meeting as required by law, and so it's ready to proceed with the board.
I know that Mr. Delp is in the audience. Sheldon, would you come and care to address the board?
I'm Sheldon Dell, and I represent not only the Keys Cemetery Board, but also the Weston Cemetery Board. And Keys Cemetery was founded in 1875, the Weston Cemetery in 1873. In the corner of Keys Cemetery is the grave of Andrew Keys and his wife, Nancy Osborne Keys, who was one of the survivors of the Whitman incident. And it's this little tiny cemetery right on the border between Athena Cemetery District on the west and Weston Cemetery District on the north. The only thing separated from Weston Cemetery is Keys Cemetery Road. And so we ask that go ahead and go forward. It has been a nonprofit since it was donated by Andrew Keys in 1875. But there is no support for it other than people out of pocket. This would allow a couple of things. For Weston Cemetery, it would allow roughly 150 extra burial sites. That is in a almost wilderness situation. Not quite, but close. For the Keys Cemetery Board, it would allow us to continue as a 501c3, more like a Friends of the Library, only we would be Friends of the Cemetery. So we'd ask that this move forward. Questions?
Have namesakes in both.
Yeah, you certainly do.
So this is, and both of them are in support of this, correct?
Yes, in fact, the application had signatures from me and from Chris. Just lost his name.
Zach.
Yeah, it's
Mayor?
Zach Mayer, not his dad.
Yeah.
And so those two boards met together about 6 weeks ago. Both boards approved.
Perfect.
Thanks,
Thank
Sheldon.
you, Sheldon. Appreciate that.
Mr. Delp knows I did a story on the Keys Cemetery several years ago.
Yeah.
And another interesting person that's buried there, they think, is the first wagon master that ever crossed the Blue Mountains with a wagon train.
And he was exhumed about 15 years ago and moved to be buried beside his wife in Almsville.
Really?
And he
At the end
happened
of
to
the
be at visiting with the Keys family when he died. He was the first burial and was actually an above ground tomb rather than being a sub.
Like New Orleans.
Yeah, it's worth visiting. I mean,
Oh,
it's
yes.
an
I've been there many
interesting
times.
area.
Yeah. And it is remote.
Mhm.
Not remote like a couple of other cemeteries out of
We have a few of those too.
There's one at the end of Hartle Road that most people don't know there.
Yeah, right. Okay, thank you very much. Anybody else want to speak in favor of it? Anybody speaking in opposition? Okay. With that, we will close public hearing mode and go back to a regular session. And I would entertain a motion.
Okay. I move to adopt order number BCC 2024-047.
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, with that, we're going to go back into another public hearing mode on the development code update. I've got a statement to read. Thanks to Jennifer. Ladies and gentlemen, I will call this land use hearing before the Umatilla County Board of Commissioners to order. My name is John Schaefer. I'm the chair of the Umatilla County Board of Commissioners. Our role today is to conduct a public hearing to consider the amendments to the Umatilla County Development Code, adopting legislative changes of Oregon statutes and Oregon administrative rules governing exclusive farm use, EFU, and grazing farm, GF, zones. Changes are also include reorganizing the non-conforming sections within the development code and insertions of applicable facilities into the Type 2 Land Division Code section not zoned EFU and GF. I will begin the hearing by asking staff to summarize the application. I will then ask the applicant to testify, followed by those in favor of the application. Then any persons in opposition or who have questions or concerns will also have a chance to speak. If there is opposition or questions, staff may respond to them. The commissioners also may ask the staff and witnesses questions throughout the hearing until the record closes. Any person within and interested in today's agenda may offer relevant oral and/or written testimony, but please only speak when I identify you for that purpose. When you testify, please begin by clearly stating your name and address. If you represent someone else, please say so. If you have any exhibits you want us to consider, such as a copy of your testimony, photographs, petitions, or other documents or physical evidence, please provide it to me or to the staff. It will be marked as part of the record. At this time, I'll call for any abstentions, bias, conflict of interest, declaration of ex parte contact, and objections to jurisdiction. Hearing and seeing none, the following declaration is required to be read prior to the beginning of the hearing. A, the agenda identifies the applicable substantive criteria for evaluating the request. Staff will review these criteria. B, all testimony and evidence must be directed toward these criteria. C, Failure to raise an issue with sufficient detail to afford the decision-making body and the parties an opportunity to respond to the issue precludes appeal to the Land Use Board of Appeals based on that issue. At this time, I'll ask for the staff report.
Thank you, Chair. Carol Johnson, Senior Planner, Umatilla County Planning. Today's hearing is a legislative hearing for a post-acknowledgement plan amendment. This amendment will be amending the text of the Umatilla County Development Code. Most of the amendments are due to legislative changes to incorporate Oregon statute and administrative rules, specifically OAR Chapter 660, Divisions 6 and 33, affecting lands zoned exclusive farm use and grazing farm. Each year when the legislature meets often results in changes in the statutes governing farm and forest zones. Local governments then incorporate these changes into the code amendment process. These amended code sections include Umatilla County Development Code sections 152.058, 152.059, 152.060, 152.0.84, and 152.617. Additionally, today's action includes updates to the non-conforming code sections 152.591 through 152.600. This is in compliance with ORS 215.130, along with proposed revisions and reorganization of the standards applicable to non-resource Type 2 land divisions contained in Code Section 152.684. The Commissioner's packets include a staff memo, draft findings, a table of the proposed amendments, and one comment from County Public Works Director Tom Fellows in support. In addition to the Public Works Director, the proposed amendments were sent to the County Surveyor and to County Council. County Council responded to public roads created through a land division. Approval required that the Commissioners sign the partition plat in order to accept the public road. This is captured in today's language. The Type 2 Land Division section has long directed applicants to address elements of the comprehensive plan related to public facilities and services, as well as elements of the county transportation system. Research in addressing these plans and policies by applicants typically have not been completed. Therefore, staff has reviewed facility and plan elements and has inserted what is believed to be the applicable elements into the update. In addition to the markup version contained in your packet, you also have received a clean copy of the Type 2 Land Division for your review. Hopefully, it was an easier read. In conclusion,
Exactly what I thought.
In conclusion, the County Development Code Section 152.750 through 0.755 prescribes a two-hearing process for code amendments. The first hearing was held before the Planning Commission June 27th. At the June hearing, the Planning Commissioners made a recommendation to forward the proposed amendments to the Board of County Commissioners for their approval. On the screen, as we scroll forward, next page. This is the order that they've been placed into the code. And as you can see, off to the right-hand side is where this was originated, what section of the statute or the administrative rule. So as you go through these sections, you will see that,
Stop for just a second.
yes,
We're getting a lot of background chatter because our microphones are in the room are so amazing. So I just want to make sure that they knew that they're being recorded and knew we could hear them. So please continue.
okay, thank you. As we move on through this document that's contained in your packet, It is the typical mark through, the strike through of language removed, and the underlining of the additions that were inserted. You can scroll forward. And if any of these catch your attention, or if in your read of it up to this point you have questions about it, I am certainly willing to try to answer those questions. Most of this is prescribed, as I mentioned before, through statute or administrative rule. The only thing that is more locally controlled would be the type 2 land division section that I just presented, why we were reorganizing and inserting some direct items from facilities to address.
It's kind of a generic question. Under the ORS, that's the what requirements, 2,500 and 10,000.
Oh, yes. Mhm.
Square feet. My question is, are there other ORSs that take over above 10,000 square feet? And the reason I ask that is, right now, we're starting to get temporary and permanent fresh pack. The goal is to get these fresh pack facilities next to or in, whether turn rows or the end of a field. You'll see melon facilities that are 30,000 square feet.
So in answer to that, what I would perceive is that you at that threshold would go into a commercial activity in conjunction with farm use, so a conditional use permit.
Conditional use on top of the EFU.
So you would have 3 paths. You'd have the path that is just a simple zoning permit, which is more or over-the-counter type permit for anything that is less than 2,500. And then you have this land use decision, which is just an elevated type of decision for this, capturing this square footage. And then beyond that, I believe you would fall into that commercial activity in conjunction with farm use and have to justify those standards that are already present in our code.
And would that be, if I have 3, say I got 4 8,000 square foot facilities, even if I built them at different times, would I?
Would there be a
Anticipation of
cumulative
that?
effect?
Yeah, in anticipation, would I stack those all under and go after commercial permit just to start with? Would that be the proper?
Well, actually, when some of these older facilities that may be present should have gone through this process anyway. Whether they did would take research into each case by case to find out. Yeah.
Thank you very much. That answered a huge question that answers a lot of other questions.
One of the things that we are revisiting, this is on page 15, is an update to the 4-zone template. The legislature has revisited this multiple times, and I believe they will revisit it again in the future. And it has, the reason I think for this is because there are some counties that have had a great deal of difficulty with determining what the template looks like and how it should be comprised when it's. So there's another attempt in this code update that has been done by the legislature to change some language here. And I know that the state is working again to address some of these issues. So this may be something you will see in the future again. As far as any of the other changes, we've made changes also to replacement dwellings. This is out of the state legislature as well, again affecting resource zoning. And my guess is it likewise to the template will be changes in the future as well. It's not just this is the way it's going to be. So without prolonging anything, if you have further questions that I might answer, that concludes what I have prepared.
I don't. There was a lot of work that went into it.
Yeah.
You know, Commissioner Timmons, it's not near what when you were sitting on the Planning Commission. That was a document over 200 pages back then, if you recall. So this one for me was a lot easier.
What easier. I do
Doesn't
appreciate,
mean it was easy, it just.
Yeah.
Yeah, truly.
Yeah, for sure.
and the clean copy at the end, you're right.
Did that help?
Oh, my gosh.
Okay, I'm glad.
Yeah, I
I'm glad.
Okay, any other proposals? Any opposition? I did see a phone ringing at 6:00 now. I don't know if they want to speak, so we need to start 6 now. I'm assuming there's no comments for public agencies on that one?
The only one would have been Public Works Department in favor.
Spoke in favor of, yep. If we need rebuttal, I don't see a need to keep this for continuance of youth record open. Is that? Okay. With that, we'll close the hearing. We'll go back in our regular meeting mode. We can take action on this today, right? Okay.
I would move to approve changes to Umatilla County Development Code, EFU zoning sections 152.058, 152.059, 152.060, GF zoning sections 152.084, and corresponding EFU and GF conditional use and land use decision sections 152.617, 1 parentheses, EE parentheses, and 1 parentheses, EF parentheses. Changes also include reorganizing the county development code non-conforming sections 152.591 through 152.600, and insertion of applicable facilities from county plans into type 2 land division code section 152.684 for the land division of properties not zoned EFU and GF.
Second.
Get the motion at all? No.
Adopt ordinance 24-0.
Motion is second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you very much for your work on that. Okay, item number 3, dispatch payment, Hermiston rims. Now, do we need to bow, genuflect, or what's the protocol?
You want me to hurt you?
Manager of the year for City of Oregon.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Pretty overwhelming for sure.
At least we missed the accolades. Commissioner Dorn was flowing.
I was trying to hear it, yes. Yeah, it was pretty amazing. They got me good. I've got ninjas. They kept it quiet for a couple days and totally got me on the radio yesterday. I'm going to get Josh back.
Well, I have no doubt.
I'm Captain Primer, Umatilla County Sheriff's Office. I'm here with a payable for the CAD system invoice 8141 in the amount of $19,996. This is for the yearly maintenance and support services for the IRIMS portion for the city of Hermiston, police agency. It went up somewhere around $4,300, $4,500, something like that. So we've seen an increase steadily from the company, so I'm asking for approval for payment for that.
I move for approval of the payment in the amount of $19,900.
Second, all fair the motion, say aye.
Aye. Thank you, commissioners.
Yep, no.
I do, I'm up again. This is for the combined invoice. It's going to be invoice 8184 from Sunridge Systems. It is the overall service and maintenance agreement that we have for them with all the other agencies. And then we will be getting a portion back because we bill Morrow County for a portion of that. And the amount of that one is going to be $95,705. Any questions I can help you with?
Move for approval of payment in the amount of $95,705.
Second, all fair the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, great, thank you.
Thanks, Kathy. Congratulations again.
Thanks again.
Let me know if you need help with getting Josh back.
I will.
Okay. Item number 5, shredder purchase. Is that you, Under Sheriff?
Here.
Oh, is that her on 6-9? You may need to hit *6 to unmute. Of course, you got tied up doing something else. You look like you're ready to rock and roll.
I could probably help you. I could probably help you, Stern, and I talked about it quite a bit yesterday.
Let me see, she just texted me. She's on another meeting, but this request is for an electronic media shredder. It's used to dispose of evidentiary items such as hard drives, cell phones, tablets, flash drives, things of that nature. Apparently in the OARs, some of those items must be destroyed after they're used in a criminal case or a civil case, and destroyed to the point where the data cannot be retrieved. We've got a bid for $73.95 to purchase a media shredder. Apparently, it could be available for use not only for our office, but for IT and the DA's office if they needed this kind of a device. So.
Like a paper shredder for like mobile devices, I guess?
Essentially, yeah. There's if you scroll up the pinky there, there's a quote, and I think there's an actual picture of the device. Keep going.
Oh, yeah.
I
I
thought
can
this.
tell you how, I can tell
There
you if you go through customs in Dubai. They go through everything you have, and I had to sit into a private room for about 3.5 hours while they investigated my green pointer for presentations. And then you have to watch them shredded and sign off. Because they consider a green pointer a weapon.
Red lasers are okay.
Red lasers are okay. It was amazing.
I just thought this was very, very interesting. I didn't even know they made such a thing. But
We actually had a pretty good conversation on this, and one of the questions I had was how long the warranty was, and it looks like it's gonna be a full year
I
warranty.
think it's a year. Captain Ward just texted again, said that she thinks you have her muted.
*6. She has to hit *6.
You have to hit, okay, maybe she hears us. If you need her, otherwise, that's what we're thinking.
It's come a long ways from the days of the giant.
Can you hear me?
There you are.
Yeah, for sure.
Welcome, Captain Ward.
Hooray. Hi. I was hearing, you guys were all doing a really good job of representing me while I was muted. Is there any questions that I can answer, commissioners?
I think the undersheriff answered all mine.
That's what I heard. Thank you, Undersheriff. It is. It's just a special shredder. We searched far and low to get this specific kind that is small enough to put in our secure file room and shred that media that contains the evidence, specifically sensitive evidence like your sex abuse cases and things like that.
Will this,
And then we would share it throughout the county with the DA's office and IT.
will this replace the giant magnet that we used to have in there for the reel-to-reels?
Yeah, I don't even know where the giant magnet is, and yes, consider a shredder a much more efficient way of making sure that stuff never sees the surface again.
And what did Hillary call it? Flora or whatever.
Clorox wipe. Okay. I would entertain a motion.
Okay. I approve the purchase of media shredder doll, 808 MS media shredder, 115B for $7,395.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, commissioners. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Captain.
Next on the issue is item 6, Gettman Road transfer.
Mr. Fellows wasn't available to attend this morning. This is a request from the board to approve the process to start a transfer of portion of Gettman Road from the county to the city. It's the portion located between Highway 207 and east to the railroad. It's less than a mile, but the city is willing to accept the road in its current condition. What's before the board is to approve the concept and sign the agreement to transfer to the city. There will be additional paperwork to do to finish the transfer, but it's starting with just the agreement.
The housing development going in, actually, the school is what started this, but they have to open up a whole new development for the additional houses, so city constructs streets at a different standard than the county does, and so that is why
For gutter sidewalk.
for better sidewalk. I would move for approval of the Gettman Road transfer as designated.
Motion is second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Number 7, fire sprinkler replacement. As Mr. Lanai makes his way up to the podium.
Good morning, Commissioners. Dan Lanai, Director of Administrative Services. And since we were talking about maintenance items, I thought it'd be appropriate to introduce to the board our new facilities manager, Marty McQuain, who, it's the second day on the job, but he comes with a lot of experience running other facilities. Hermiston School District, out at the Army Depot, there too, running there was the facility manager. So we're really excited about having them with us, and I just wanted to welcome him to you.
I know Marty well, and it's been good to done, and
It's just been a little bit of a fire hose for him. There's a lot that has been going on in the last 3 months. A little catch up there for him too. So I'm excited.
we all have a list.
Now on to the agenda item. Recently, we had our fire inspection system out at the Justice Center, and some of the heads no longer meet code in the sheriff's office there. And this is a quote to have those replaced so that now they are brought up to code.
I saw that. How are some in compliance and others are not? Weren't they all put in at the same time?
Yeah, and I don't know the answer to that. I didn't, Brandon was, he's out on vacation right now, but he's the one that specifically was working with them. But also dictates what rooms and what types of rooms they're in. And so then when we put in ones in different rooms, we had different types because they're housed all the time, so not all the heads are the same. That's basically.
My understanding is a lot of the construction changed the usage of the square foot that those sprinklers took care of. So I knew that was part of it.
So if they are an exterior sprinkler head or in an unconditioned space, they have a 5-year lifespan. So I have not seen the reports on this, but I understand from the quote, that's what these are. So if you have them outside in your foliage or in the freezer, let's say, for instance, those have a 5-year lifespan that have to be.
Approval of, or authorization of $9,790 to American Sprinklers.
Second, all for the motion, say aye.
All right, thank you, Commissioners, and Riley Wortman's going to go ahead and take care of the next one.
Item number 8, IT training room upgrades.
Good morning, Commissioner. Riley Workman, IT. Our training room that we use to train our new employees as well as some other trainings is quite out of date. And so we're looking at upgrading all of the computers and monitors in that room. We have a couple quotes from Dell that pull off of a state national cooperative purchasing contract. And we have had this in our 5-year plan for a while and have put it in our budget for this year. So the cost of the 9 desktops would be $6,183.99. And the 9 monitors would cost $2,399.31 for a total of $8,583.30. So I'm requesting the board approve the purchase of 9 desktops and 9 monitors for $8,583.30. Any questions?
Are they newer than the one that's in 114?
No, they're really old computers.
We put them in 2014 or after.
Yeah.
You guys did.
The ones in there are not only that, it's old. Those ones are older and they are lower powered computers than what's in 114. So they're kind of worse off.
I didn't know that was possible.
Yeah.
Okay.
We do have somewhere on our plan, we do have a replacement for planning to replace meeting rooms at a certain point. So, it is on our list. We will check it twice, yeah. That's another point on these is they're not able to upgrade to 11. And we have one more year, Windows 11. And we have one more year before we have to have all of the computers upgraded to Windows 11, basically. Windows 10 will be end of life October 2025.
$500. That was just an HP with a 12-inch screen that when you turned it on became an 8-inch screen.
Come a long ways, haven't we?
Yeah, I was about 6 years old then.
Yeah.
So these computers, Riley, are about 10 years old.
The ones in the training room, yeah. They were installed just after I started.
I move for the approval of the purchase of the 9 desktops and 9 monitors for $85.83 and 30 cents.
Motion second, all for the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, sir. Item number 9, public health payable.
This payable is before the board due to the dollar amount. It was referred by the finance department. It is for a training that public health had for its employees, its annual training. And so the cost is just slightly above the $5,000. So they're requesting approval payable to Center for Ethical Leadership for $5,366.17. Yes, it was budgeted.
By all accounts, their trainings are top-notch. And so I'll move to approve Payable Center for Ethical Leadership in the amount of $5,366.17.
I can, and also make the comment that it's always nice to see them use local facilities for those.
Motion is second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Fair Board appointment number 10. I'm assuming this will be a pretty slam dunk one.
Yep, sure.
The Fair Board President and myself interviewed several candidates for Fair Board and selected Michael Cutmore as a board-elect position. Since that time, board member Andy Wagner has moved, and that position has become available. And this motion is to go ahead and move the appointment up for Michael Cutmore to be a Umatilla County Fair Board member. I was going to say I'll make a motion. I move to approve BC order 2024-046.
Motion and a second. I will have the pleasure of meeting him at the one of our dinners, and I think he's going to be a great addition. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Fair fans purchase.
This is before the board for authorization to purchase fans for 3 fans for the swine barn. It's like for $9,000. Thank you. $582.30.
Where does that come from? Where do those funds come out of?
These come out of their budget that are going to be sponsored for these. And the reason they needed the additional fans is because
Oh, I know, yeah, it's
of the expansion of the barn.
They made it bigger.
Expansion. Yeah, they have sponsors also for the fans that will go into the additional fans that'll go that'll go into the feed.
I was surprised at this only because do they still have the sprinkler system or the mist system above the hogs?
There is a system above the hogs.
Well, they have that in the new edition too.
They are trying to make sure that they get that done.
Okay, I just think that that would be so much more important. I mean, that to me would be more of a priority than a fan.
Well,
on those hogs.
fans are mostly because there's already fans in it.
Okay.
The show ring, and the travel area to the show,
That's where the fans are going.
that's where some of the
Any further questions? Entertain a motion.
I move to approve payment in the amount of $9,582.30 for fair barn fans.
Motion is second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right. Here's Montana.
The next item is approval for Fair Board or Fair Payable. This is for the printing through IMESD for $5,530.18.
Printing is this? Is this for the?
It's for 5 different items that this printing. It's the books, it's the part for the court, for writing autographs and tickets, and I can't remember the two other items.
The IMSD shut down their print shop?
We had the order in before.
I was under the impression it was done.
I didn't look on the date on the paper.
I think they're done now. Okay, any further discussion on that? With that, I entertain a motion.
For approval of the payment, of the fair payable, in the amount of $5,530.18 to ESD.
Motion and second, all fair the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay, number 13, DA Deputy CBA ratification. Jennifer on? Yes.
Sorry, yes, sirs, I'm here. Yeah, sorry, I said sirs, and I meant also, I'm Cindy. My bad. Anyway, good morning. We were able to come to an agreement with our AFSCME Local 3742-4, which is our DA bargaining unit. And before you today is a request for the commissioners to also approve that the ratification of that contract, and it was settled for a 3-year commitment.
First of all, I'd like to say thank you to the negotiating team. It's one of the smoother contracts we've done. The only problem.
Yeah, no, I too echo that sentiment. The negotiating team does a lot of hard work on these, and I appreciate that very much.
I just have a question. Is the 3-year contract, is that historically what's been done? Is it 3 years? Okay.
Yes, occasionally we've had a 4-year contract, but for the most part, the standard is 3 years.
Okay, thank you.
I move to approve a 3-year contract with the AFSCME Local 3742-4 effective July 1, 2024.
Got a motion, a second, all fair the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you again, everybody, for that. Number 14, budget order rescinded.
Good morning, Commissioners. Robert Paul, CFO. It came to my attention recently that we had adopted a couple of budget orders that we actually didn't need to enact, and I feel it would be in our best interest to rescind those. So that's what's before you today.
I already sat down, Robert, to answer my question. I would move to adopt budget order number 2024-74.
Motion, second, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Robert.
Thanks, Robert.
Item 15, DKS contract.
I can address that one. This is a motion to fulfill the contract with DKS Consulting with an additional $77,000 to make the contract complete.
No, Dan already knows how I feel about this. The lack of the $77,000. I mean, you know, that. I know you said it's on me, but I should,
No,
you
it
know.
is on me, and the comments are appreciated and taken to heart for sure, and I'm glad that you made them.
But what are our options? To discuss options.
They did. There were two options, that one would save us 14,000, the true one, there was true three options. One is to complete the contract as written. Two, they did propose a reduction of $14,000. With that reduction, we would end up putting quite a bit more work on our planning department, because we would have to take up some of the direct interaction with the subcontractors. And the third is basically say no and see what happens. This,
Any further discussion? That I'd entertain a motion.
I would move to honor the contract with DKS Consulting with the additional $77,000.
Motion and a second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
I mean, aren't we going to discuss?
Should we have anything else to discuss? You said no. But if you want to discuss, go ahead and
I
discuss.
changed my mind.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Floor is yours.
Okay, so we move forward with the contract. So what will we see and when will we see it?
The proof of concept, we will see. That portion of the final project. And we have seen some portions of what you mean, some portions of it. Concept will be-
Any further discussion? Are you sure? Going once. Got a motion and a second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, guys.
Motion carries. Okay. Final thoughts, Commissioner Timmons.
You know, we're gearing up for fair. Everything is fair right now, you know?
That's
And
fair.
I think maybe
That's fair to
because,
say.
yeah, I think maybe because I have a daughter that's the new, extension agent, maybe it's a little bit more the front stuff. But I guess, I just want to say, I've been a parent in the fair, I've been a superintendent in the fair, I've judged fairs, I've been involved. You don't really realize how much time and effort goes on behind the scenes. And, it's just, every time she calls, there's something else, that they're working on. And I know Dan is extremely involved in that. And so there's a lot of people that work very hard to put this together, and, there's never recognized. And I think that we need to applaud those folks. And there's a lot to it.
There it is.
There is.
Well said.
Well said.
Yeah.
It would be the exact same thing. So
Yeah.
Thank you.
Commissioner Doran.
Same theory, same. We are gearing up. And the one thing that Commissioner Timmons didn't mention is we're already started.
Yeah.
Fashion show,
Cupcake wars.
cupcake wars, and several other events, and they continue to move forward through the next few weekends as we get ready for the fair. My anticipation, just looking at the numbers on the animal side, are pretty huge. And then Farm City turned away a record number of cowboys this year. They filled up. They always generally fill up except for bareback, but they actually turned away 21 bareback riders this year. So the numbers are incredible. Yeah. They went ahead and accepted 130 breakaway rovers. Slack will start early for sure, but the fair itself, we know, as everybody that's ever lived here, at the end of weather like we've had for the last 2 weeks, it'll be into 3 weeks. We're just keeping our fingers crossed that storm at the end of that happens before the fair this year. Because it will happen.
Yes, it will.
And, we're hoping timing's perfect this year, even though it's been a long 2-3 weeks. That's all I can.
All right. Good. It's definitely that time of year. So I would encourage you, everybody to come and see the parade.
Yes.
That's going to be, what day is that?
New route.
What day is that? That's the third?
Third.
The only thing I wanted to bring up was, I don't know if you saw the news recently, the passing of former state senator and Senate President Peter Courtney. You know, we didn't see eye to eye on a lot of different things, but he was fair and he was on the county right. So I want to just, thank him for his service and everything else.
He was definitely somebody who visited with us out here.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure, that credit.
Yeah. Okay.
And a great family.
Okay, with that.